Marina Kuksenko also came to Hamline as a transfer student from Normandale. She is a hard-working, multi-talented writer whose fiction blossomed exponentially when I worked with her. She learns well and fast, rising to every challenge she's given. By the time she finished the fashion blog she created as part of an independent study to earn a computer-intensive credit with me, which is a little bit of a riot. Computer intensive. She was teaching me how to write a good blog.
I'm Marina Kuksenko, and before I begin, I would just like to say thank you to all our teachers and mentors who have believed in us and who have dedicated their time to us. And because of you, we are here, and if it wasn't for you, I think it's safe to say that we wouldn't be. Okay. I'm only going to read one page for one reason or another, but here it is. So far, the working title is Strobe Feeders. The hum of the dome has been steady for 4 days. In all that time, only a few distant rumbles stretched their agonized limbs over the crest of the distant mountains in reach of a stray tendril of lightning. The air was dry with static and singed ozone on the tongue, though the shallow gray clouds had begun to thicken over the faint orb that for brief moments made its silhouette known in the sky. As the morning began to darken with heavy swells, they designated Ridian to Jingo Squad. It's what he wanted from the beginning, to be a raider. But they made him second. The commander's evasion of Ridian's eyes was a clear indication that they wouldn't expect him to come back. If he did, they'd just send him out again. Preserve, protect, prevail. He saluted with the rest of the newly designated graduates, but he couldn't stop the slow burn of resentment building inside his mind for Orestes. It wasn't his fault he'd been given point, but it didn't have to be. They didn't trust Ridian, despite his top ranking. It wasn't a matter of spearheading a mission. It was a matter of orders they didn't trust him to take. The slight took form in Ridian's chest. His breath came out in tight, controlled exhalations. His body's betrayal of his emotions chafed worse than his disappointed anger. The clenched jaw, the slight twitch of the fingers he couldn't control unless he balled his hands into fists, an even more obvious gesture, so he let his hands be. His eyes slid from one side of the ranks to the other before he could bring them to heel and fixed his gaze back on the commander. No one had noticed the momentary lapse, but they didn't have to. He would see it later, in their eyes.